back to the Pax Porfiriana playthrough. It's my turn. I'd really like to show you how we get an enterprise into play. I have one, it's going to cost 7. I've only got 5 pesos, 5 gold, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this one. It's going to cost me 1, so that's my first action. This goes to my hand. And my second action is I'm going to sell this straight away. And remember, I sell for 3 pesos. That was on the economy. Now I should have 7. Yeah, with my 7, I'm going to put this mine into play. That's the cost there, 7. It's a mine, so we need to look at the current regime to determine what its income is. Its current income is 2, so 2 cubes. It's going to be expensive to get my troops here, because they can only get here on foot. It's going to cost 7 to place a connection cube on there, and that makes sense, because to send my troops here on foot is going to cost 8. No, I can't send them here. This is Chihuahuan, this is Sonoran. Okay, so I'm going to have to look for another one. Alright, but that's okay. I'm happy with that, because I'm going to get 4 income now. And we've got things starting to move. That's the end of my turn. No headlines. Let's refill the market. And roll for the ads. A 9 on the top. He's grabbing this mine. It doesn't have any prestige icons on it, so he's just going to discard it. And the bottom, a 7, so he's going to grab this one, and he will put this into play. It does have a prestige icon. Just going to give him 1 loyalty. Remember, Diaz doesn't have any income, so we're not going to put any income cubes on here. It just sits in here as a target for my attacks, or a target for his straw man, or targets for his own troops as well. He can defend that thing. It's going to give him 1 loyalty. Now, if you're wondering about how these things work, I tend to roll the dice, pull the cards, and then play them out in the order I drew them for Diaz. Okay, I suggest you do the same, rather than play them out as you pull them. Oh, I like these. Oh, and another one. This looks excellent. I'm happy about this, because we've got 2 lots of troops here with command, but I really need to work on bringing out some Sonora enterprises. So I'm going to grab a couple. I'm going to grab this one here, another mine, put that in my hand. That one was free. I'd quite like to grab another. That's going to use up 2 actions. I think that's okay. I think I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this one. It's going to cost me 1 and 2 actions. I've hit my hand limit. There's a hand limit of 5 cards, so I'm right there. With 4 income, that takes me back up to 7. Next time, I should be able to play some of these cards out. Let's refill the market. These are coming down and getting quite cheap now. Let's roll for Diaz. There's a 9. Secondly, a 4. It's this one. So 2 lots of troops. We'll play them out in the order they came out. This one is looking for a Chihuahuan enterprise, and yeah, there is one. There's one in my tableau. He's gonna attack. I don't have any defenders here, so this is going to be a straight walk in and occupy my mine. If I did have some troops here, this is where this little icon in the top left comes in. Okay, this is the troop strength or firepower. Okay, this has got firepower 1. If I had these troops here, they'd be fine to come in and steal this enterprise from me, because this one has firepower 2. So these would come and kick these guys out and send them packing. Now this is the problem with these command ones, you see. they're very vulnerable because they've got low firepower. If I had a 2 firepower troop here, like this other one, then they couldn't come in and kick me out because it's equal. As it stands, they're going to come in here and occupy the mine. Some troops cause unrest when they come in and occupy. This one doesn't, but it does change the regime to Pax Porfiriana when it's first played. It's already Pax, so it doesn't matter. And remember, Diaz doesn't pay any queues, so he doesn't have to pay this 2 to walk up here. But now this troop is extorting this mine. What that means is they're stealing some of the income. We replace one of our green cubes with one of his cubes. Right, and that's the only time you're going to use the Diaz cubes, is when troops are extorting. And that's important because what it means is the mine still produces 2 income. Just one goes to Diaz and one goes to me. Okay. If the cubes should ever disappear, then that enterprise is called sacked and it just gets discarded. So the presence of income cubes is important. An enterprise cannot exist without income cubes on it of some kind. Its second card then is the 11th Rurale Corps, the federal troops that hit a Sonora enterprise. I don't have any, so he's going to play it against his own Sonora enterprise as kind of some troops acting in defence. Again, it doesn't cost him anything to play troops here. He doesn't have to pay any income. Again, it would change the regime to Pax. It already is. There's no other effects. Wow. He's given us a hard time. But nothing's ever easy in this game. Okay, back to me. And I quite fancy the idea of getting these troops in, and possibly on top of this plantation. The plantation is good because it's got a built-in train route. We can also create a ship route here by placing the connection cube on there. Yeah, and this is going to cost 0 to put my troops here, so I'm definitely doing this. So my first action is going to be to play down this plantation. I don't get the prestige. Okay, there's something called a slave revolt. If you see one of these revolutions upside down and it's got this jail in it, there's normally a slave revolt text here. If unrest, the red tokens, and unrest gets placed by some troops and also by some of these orange and black cards, these attacking cards. If unrest is greater than the cubes on the card, then it gets awarded, so the kind of the slaves have revolted, it gets awarded to your grudge pile as a revolution. It's got 2 orange cubes here. That's our start income. They're labelled here as start income. We'll place these down, and this one's going to cost me 5. And now we're back down to 4 cards in hand. So that's 5 pesos, 5 gold. I'm going to put my troops here to defend it. And that's going to cost 0, but that's my second action. 0 because we're going to take the train at a cost of 0, and there's a train icon here, and it's in the Sonoran jurisdiction. Okay, now these troops are quite weak, so we are vulnerable a little bit here, but it does give me 1 command. Remember, our target is 5, so it's a long road. I've got 1 more action left, and before he takes them, I'm going to grab another set of local troops that give commands. That's going to cost 2. I'm back down to 0 cash, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 income. Things are starting to work for us. Let's refill the market. Now, I'm expecting a Topple card to come out soon. We must be reaching that point. And what do you know? There it is. There it is. Okay. It's very unlikely that we're going to win the game on the first Topple, so don't worry too much about this first Topple. You're going to be targeting the 3rd, perhaps, or the 4th. But this one says if the regime is Pax, -1 from the Diaz loyalty. Now, as each of these Topples is going to attack one of the prestige types. If we were going for loyalty, we'd be keen to see this one a little bit later on in the game. So I'm happy this has come out now, because this one works in our favour. If we can get the Topple card that says -1 outrage or -1 command, that fits with our strategy. So I'm kind of hoping that that's going to be the third or fourth topple that comes out. Because what's going to happen here is, if I choose to play the topple, Diaz could play it too. If Diaz picks this up, he's just going to turn it, because he doesn't want to topple himself and discard it. But if we pick this up, these headline cards are like instants. You have to play it immediately. It doesn't go to your hand, it doesn't go to your tableau. As soon as you buy it, it's going to get played out. Which means we either have to try and topple Diaz by having more prestige than him in one of these categories, or we just play it for no effect and it goes straight to this discard pile. Okay. If we do have more command, then that's the point the game ends. Okay, we pick up this card, we topple Diaz by playing this instantly. He gets his -1 penalty and whatever it is, in this case loyalty, but only if the regime matches. Okay, so setting up the win, you kind of have to know when you're ready to go, because there's a couple of things you want to do. Is ideally you're looking for the topple card that helps you, but you may not need it. That -1 you may not need, you may be far enough ahead. But not only that, you also need to make sure you've got the right regime. So if you're using loyalty, it would be Pax. But we're looking for, say, command or outrage. So we're looking at outrage, we need to turn it into US. And then for command, I think it's martial law. Yeah, martial law. Okay, because when you look that over, it says win if your command is more than the tripartite command. So you cannot win unless the command score you're going for matches what's here. Alright, that's why you want to go for more than one. Okay, let's see Diaz do his thing. It's a 7. So he's going to take this enterprise. It does have a loyalty prestige in it, so it will go in his tableau. And secondly, 11. He's going to grab these local troops. That's a proper shame. I wanted these. Never mind. So local troops. He hasn't got anywhere they can... Yeah, he's going to kick me out, you see. This is a Sonoran troop. Yeah, he's going to attack this. He's going to attack this. Bad news. The regimes match. And the firepower exceeds my firepower. My troops are discarded. Diaz's troops take their place. I lose that one command I'd had. Wow, we're back down to zeros. And obviously I lose one of my income cubes as well. He's extorting my plantation. The other thing is, it says when first played, the regime changes to martial law. Okay, this is Aldolfa de la Huerta coup. So it's a coup. Change the regime to martial law. Now Diaz is going to do everything he can to push this back to Pax. Okay, Pax Porfiriana. Okay, but these troops have come in and changed everything to martial law. Consequently, the income on economy's gone down, but it also means there's another type of action you can take called a police action, which normally costs you in pesos, in gold, but this one now says that the police action takes 0 gold. The police action is how you get rid of unrest from your enterprises. We've still not seen unrest get placed yet, but it's normally going to cost you like 3 gold to use a police action to get rid of one unrest. Obviously with martial law that costs you 0, so it goes from cost 3 to cost 0. Huge difference. The other thing is you can use a police action, spend your 3 gold to get out of jail. Okay, and this is what's going to happen if this thing here turns to the revolution side. See, it's got this jailed, and this little speech bubble here, then your hacendado here will get jailed. And that basically means he's only going to be able to use 2 actions instead of 3 on his turn. So you do want to use a police action. Remember, your actions are valuable. You use this police action, it will go back to 3 actions per turn, one of which you've used. Okay, let's refill the markets. Have another mine, golly, and another partner, the US General. We don't want him to get this because it gives +1 to his command. It's not helping us at all because he's already got 1. Command's really hard to win, especially when he gets those troops like he just did. Should we hit him up with another turn? Let's do that. Let's do that. It'd be nice to be able to kick those troops out. They're causing me some pain, but yeah, these guys aren't very strong. I do have a mine. It's going to cost 7 to put in. Don't have enough money. Okay, this one looks interesting. Emilia Zapata. It says steal an opponent's non-US troop into your hand. The trouble is, that'll give him, if I run that, it'll give him another command. But there is a risk that he's going to run that against me. So instead I'm going to try a strawman play. I'm going to grab these Chiricahua Apache. It's going to cost me 1. It says steal 2 and put 2 unrest on a Sonoran Enterprise. I'm going to play it against my own. I could play against his, but the reason I want to play it against my own, and the reason why I'm doing it, is to give myself 1 outrage. So it's a straw man played against. You have to play these orange cards against an Enterprise. They can't just be played on their own. So I'm going to play it against this. This is going to place 2 unrest here. Obviously you can't steal your own money. And I'll get an outrage finally. So we're back to square one. 1 against 1. I need 6 more, possibly, if I can use this. Maybe 5 more if I can use a partner. Interesting. Let's keep pushing for outrage. I just feel that command's running away from me. Notice this isn't quite a slave revolt yet. Okay, it says if unrest is greater than the cubes on the card. There's 2 cubes here, not 1. Alright, so the extortion cube does stop the slave revolt. Right, there's troops here. It would do, right? So I think that's a change from the printed rules, and you'll see that in the living rules. It's the sum of all these cubes. So that's 1 action to take it, 1 action to play it. I've got 1 action left, and I'm going to take the police action. And this is going to cost 0 gold. Normally it's 3, remember, because we're in martial law. But as it goes, if there's troops here, irrespective of who owns them, if there's troops at an enterprise, then the police action is always going to cost 0 anyway. And as your action, you can remove 1 unrest. So that takes us to our 3 actions. I may or may not leave that there. I'm not sure yet. I mean, the good thing about this having unrest on it is it cancels out my income. It cancels out everything about the enterprise, but it also cancels out the troops that are there, cancels out the prestige that they provide. So he's gone back down to 0 command now. So I could leave that there, or I could get rid of it, try and bring my own troops in, build up the plantation, start building some income. As it goes, I've lost that income. I've only got 3 for this turn. Let's see what Diaz will do in response. For the top row, it's a 3. Oh, he's taking the Topple card. Remember, he doesn't do anything with these. He's just going to play it for its no effect. So Diaz rallies. Diaz's loyalty is unchanged. From the bottom row, 9. He's going to play this one. This is the Creole tax increases. He's going to play it against a Chihuahuan Enterprise. Now he's always going to pick one of mine first to attack. He's got one here, he can attack this one. And it says he's going to steal X, where X is the number of your loyalty points. That's his loyalty points, right? It's always respective to the person who's playing it. On a Chihuahuan Enterprise, and he's going to put 3 unrest on there as well. And that's one that we didn't want him to do. What's his loyalty? It's currently 2. 1 from the water project, 1 from the bank. So he takes 2 of my gold. That just goes to the bank. Remember, Diaz doesn't actually use gold. And then this one goes to my grudge pile and gives me 1 point of revolution. Interesting. Maybe revolution's something I can do something with. Now let's refill the market. Join me next time.